Hey guys, I just wanted to sit down and make this video. It's about the whole recent announcement in the Smash community, more specifically about Melee getting canceled at the Big House tournament this year. So, you may have all seen this statement that was made. Um, you've probably seen it over and over. People have made videos and statements. They say, Nintendo appreciates the love and dedication the fighting game community has for the Super Smash Bros. Series. We have partnered with numerous Smash Bros. Tournaments in the past and have hosted our own online and offline tournaments for the game, and we plan to continue that support in the future. Unfortunately, the upcoming Big House tournament announced plans to host an online tournament for Super Smash Bros. Melees that requires use of illegally copied versions of the game in conjunction with a mod called Slippy during their online event. Nintendo therefore contacted the tournament organizers and asked them to stop. They refused, leaving Nintendo no choice but to step in and protect its intellectual property and brands. Nintendo cannot condone or allow piracy of its intellectual property. This statement did not look very good for Nintendo. Nintendo's basically saying, like, oh well, here's the flowcharts of how things are going in the Melee community now. Nintendo made a game 20 years ago. People played the game and enjoyed it. Now we hit a point where people don't have the console or the game anymore and want to play it. Nintendo's not developing software or hardware that lets us play Melee. Somebody develops an emulator that we can play the game on. Nintendo is now banning the use to stream said games. Now, I haven't seen a official statement from Nintendo, but I've seen an official statement from the Big House, and that was the one I showed you previously that many people have seen. So at this point, it's hard to tell exactly what Nintendo's trying to convey to us, but as of right now, it's very, very weak. So I'm going to kind of dissect this paragraph right here and just talk about my thoughts on everything, and we'll just go through it. So here we go. We have partnered with numerous Smash Bros. Tournaments in the past and have hosted our own online and offline tournaments for the game, and we plan to continue that support in the future. This statement is heavily inaccurate at best, and at worst, it's just untrue. They are implying that they are continuously supporting the competitive community, and they are implying that they are trying to show the community that it is being taken care of, and it's just not true. Here is a history of every tournament that Nintendo has sponsored in the history of Super Smash Bros. Since the release of the original Super Smash Bros. 64. Nintendo has sponsored 22 total tournaments. 22. Not 22 series of tournaments, 22 total tournaments. Here is a list of every Melee tournament that has occurred as a major. And I know people may say, well, it's impossible for a company to sponsor every tournament in its game, but it just shows kind of a lack of effort on Nintendo's part, because not only have they sponsored very, very little of the tournaments, they've tried to shut down tournaments in the past. Most of you are familiar with EVO 2013. They denied them streaming rights to the game, and only after a huge amount of backlash from the community did they reinstate it. So, this is my call to action here. People are using, on Twitter, they're using the hashtag #FreeMelee. In fact, this hashtag was trending within an hour. It was very, very fast. The problem is, the points people are using to Nintendo is just showing that people are going to lose interest in the game. It's because Nintendo isn't putting in the effort to allow us to play the game. In the current state of things, people are unable to play games in person together, and that's the only option Nintendo has given us in Melee, and kind of the only option they've given us in all the other games as well. And even Smash Ultimate's online is so bad that most people have decided to upright and quit the competitive community just because of the online service. So when you just don't support online play for your games, it doesn't make sense that you're not going to take initiative to support online play of your game and get mad when people ask for it and people deliver. So many people want online play for your game, and you're not going to develop it. That's what your entire fan base is asking for, where we can't go and visit each other and play the game at each other's house, and a lot of people don't own the game in the first place. It doesn't make sense for you to say, we're not going to develop this, but also if you try to find a way to play this game that we made, we're just going to take you down. We're just going to send you to court. And there are ways for Nintendo to monetize this. If their whole idea here is it's their intellectual property and they're trying to protect it and it's for their business, develop a way for us to play the game online. And even if you don't want to go to that much trouble, you're still getting more people to play the game. You're selling controllers still. You're still selling merchandise. People are still playing your game. They're just playing it through another system, which is better than them not playing your game at all. That's basically what Nintendo's saying. In summary, Nintendo is saying you either play offline with our system or you don't get to play the game at all. You must go out and buy a 20-year-old console and a 20-year-old game, and you can't play it with other people, or we're going to send you to court. So instead of just Nintendo reinstating Melee, how about Nintendo take initiative, show that you care about the game, and respond to your fans? Now, I must say the community has done pretty well at responding, at least. I haven't seen any outrageous things from the community yet, and for the most part, I haven't seen anyone blame this on Sakurai, because we know this isn't his fault. That's a good thing. I was afraid that the community would be going after Sakurai just because they've been doing that in the past for stuff that he really hasn't had a control over. The community's doing a very good job as taking their part. I think we should continue it and urge Nintendo to invest themselves more in the games that they make. I think instead of canceling tournaments that are showing your game used in an emulator, instead you develop a way for us to play the game so that we can still enjoy it under a licensed Nintendo software. And that's just a win for the community all around, because you've introduced online play, you're allowing more people to access the game, and it's still your property. This route that they're taking is not developing the software, making fans mad, taking down tournaments, lowering the community morale, and just driving away competitors and the fan base. Imagine if Smash was owned by a company that cared about the game as much as, say, Mojang. They continuously update a game that's over a decade old. And Smash Bros., it does not get the love that it deserves. And you can tell through just cheap tricks by Nintendo to get us to think that they really support us, and they just don't. 22 sponsored tournaments over the course of 20 years, and these free-for-all 4-man items on tournaments online are not a good enough excuse for them to say, we're not going to support the community. I do understand it is Nintendo's right to do this. They can do what they want with their game, but if it's in their best interest to make money and monetize the game, they should really be following these steps to at least bring the community back into the game. But other than that, that's all I have to say. So I'm out. See you.